Okay, guys, welcome back to the Fantasy Chancer Football Show brought to you here on the Upper Tier podcast. Um, we're going to go into another game week, and I think I might go with Erling Haaland as my captain this week. Maybe. Let's have a look at the game week standings at the moment. So, Kevin Mullally is out in front there at the moment with 548 points. It's a very good tally. Game week total of 88 last week, and we see our own head of the table, Mr. Niall Hogan, with a very impressive 96 points last week, bringing him within touch and distance to the top there as well. So, Niall, for a guy like myself that doesn't really, I guess, play that much or is not too into it, it's good to see him up there as well. Um, but Erling Haaland, I think if everyone just captains Erling Haaland for the rest of the season, like there's going to be some serious points scored this season. But still remains to be seen if he can stay injury free. If he does stay injury free, then I'm afraid that's going to be bad news for everyone in the league this season because I can't see anyone stopping Man City with him in that form. Like the amount of goals this guy is scoring is absolutely off the chain. And like I was only reading earlier, I don't know how true it is, but he's got clauses in his contract. The more goals he gets, the more money he gets. And I heard he's made up to €900,000 per week so far this season with the goals he scored. Now, I don't know how credible that is, but if certainly if there's an incentive to be had and if it's monetary for scoring goals, well, then there's another incentive. So coming into next week anyway, I'm going to show you my team now. So we're in game week 10. And of course, we missed one game week due to the passing of Queen Elizabeth. That still has to be rescheduled at some point. So in goals, I am going with Dean Henderson. Things looking very ropey for Nottingham Forest for a team that signed 23 players. They can't really seem to keep the ball out of the back of net. They can't seem to win football games, which is, very worrying for them. But their manager has signed a brand new deal today, which I thought was surprising. But then on the other hand, he did get the checkbook out, or was given the checkbook, you would think, for those 23 players. So they want to back their man, which is credible for a team that's bottom of the league, to put out a big statement like that and back their manager has to be kind of applauded and appreciated. And really, I hope it works out for him because he is the man that has got them to where they are. So I'm going to go with Henderson and Nico Williams this week at home to Aston Villa. Aston Villa, stop start, haven't really clicked into full gear yet under Gerrard this season. So I think there's scope and opportunity for Nottingham Forest to get a result, whether that be a draw or a win. I think it's possible they could get something there. Now, my other two defenders, I have William Saliba in. This is a massive test for William Saliba this week, and all the plaudits have been applauding the work that he has done so far this season, and rightly so. Got a nice rest there during the Europa League match during the week with Arsenal. So he's there for me. But as you can see with the star beside his name, he has racked up the points, not only from a defensive situation, but he's racked up some goals and assists as well. So with a Liverpool team seemingly out of sorts at the moment, I think it's a safe bet to put him in there. But I have taken out Ben White this week. I think two Arsenal defenders would be a bit too dodgy to have in. So um, Malaysia then, who had a very poor game, let's face it, during the week for Manchester United in the Europa League, and they just barely got over the line in that tie. So I'd expect him still to retain his place. Middle of the park, Raheem Sterling. Wolves at home. Wolves don't score a lot of goals. I'd expect Sterling and Aubameyang to be kind of on form. I would expect Chelsea to win this match against Wolves. I just can't see where the goals are coming from. Of course, Wolves got rid of Bruno Lage last week, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of direction that they go in as well. Pascal Gross, Tottenham at home for Brighton. Brighton put up a really good battle last week against Liverpool and were fully deserving of that 3-3 draw. And I think a lot of people were scared, with Graham Potter leaving, like what are Brighton going to be? Like, what's the football identity going to be? And basically their new manager said that I don't want to rip up the script that Graham Potter has left for Brighton. I just want to add a sprinkle of myself to it. And you could see that evidently last week, the lineup was fairly similar, the formations were fairly similar. So, I like that he is kind of sticking to what Potter has done there because Potter found a way of getting like so much out of those players. So best of luck to him. Tottenham at home for Brighton. Tottenham obviously lost in our London derby last week away to Arsenal. Not surprising. They normally lose that match every year. It's at home. They seem to have Arsenal's number, but during the week, a 0-0 draw at Frankfurt. Could the wheels be coming unstuck there already? Everyone tipped Tottenham to win a trophy this season. Current form, I cannot see it, but it remains to be seen as well. Andres Pereira at West Ham United away. West Ham got a much needed victory last week, and they will hope to kind of bounce on from that. So Fulham, London derby away. Can't really rule them out either. Fulham have, I think, over I wouldn't say overachieved, but they've probably done more than people would have thought they would have so far this season, judging by the way they've kind of been a yo-yo club coming up in the Premier League, and their ultimate objective is just to stay up. So I'd expect a little bit more coming out. Pereira has been quiet the last few game weeks, so if he can start putting balls on Mitrovic's head, foot, whatever, he's going to rock up some rewards. Beside him then, Mo Salah hasn't hit the heights yet, but how do you take that man out of your team? Playing Arsenal will obviously give Liverpool some space, as always, and I think there'll be definitely goals in the Arsenal and Liverpool game. It's one of those games that could be 2-2, 3-2, could go either way. Either both teams have I think a good chance of winning that game. So I think it's going to be one of the more tighter games we've seen with Arsenal Liverpool in recent memory. And then up top, well, I'm just going with the same guys again. Harry Kane, Brighton away. Jesus, Liverpool at home. Liverpool a little bit circumspect at the back at the moment, so you'd expect someone like Jesus that if Arsenal were to get goals, that he could pop in with a goal or an assist. You've seen his very unselfish play on Thursday night in the Europa League, setting up Fabio Vieira for like wonderful, wonderful goal. Great footwork by him. And then, of course, Erling Haaland, captain. How can you not? He was brought off at half-time during City's Champions League match. They were absolutely cruising. He got another 2 goals, just took him off, give him an early bat, get him ready for the weekend, and I can't see anything but a Man City win. And I think a Man City win is really, really going to put the pressure on Ralph Hasenhüttl. Southampton really, really need to start keeping clean sheets, but I can't see it happening this week. And then the bench, Sanchez. I'd expect Tottenham to score against Brighton, so I left Sanchez on, or out, sorry. Nathan Collins still suspended, so he'll be back in the next game week. And then Reed, and as I said, Ben White, I left him out this week because I didn't want to take a gamble of having two Arsenal defenders coming up against Liverpool, because no matter what you say about Liverpool and they haven't clicked into top gear, there's still a chance there that they could rip any side to shreds. So that's what I'm going with this week. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share, and keep an eye on the Upper Tier podcast. There's some great stuff going on. Niles Live with Darren every Monday and Thursday, bringing you all the football, latest news, reviews, funny stories, beat the bookies, where they go through their bets for the week. There's so much going on here, and Niall also does like Liverpool specific podcasts as well, called the Shankly Sessions, where he'll look in detail at Liverpool's fixtures both pre and post match. So check that out definitely if you're a Liverpool fan, and I will catch you again next week.